bringing you a Total War Warhammer Online Ranked battle. It's been a while since I've uploaded any content, but I'm going to be uploading loads more battles in the coming weeks. So a lot of content got added to the game, and I've been playing loads and really enjoying myself. I've had a heavy Dark Elves focus because some of my favourite units from the tabletop were added to the Dark Elves, and I love them. And this is one of them. This is the Doomfire Warlocks. This is the Regiment of Renown, Slaaneash's Harvesters. Got a bit of a Chaos God theme. I like that. And they just look badass and they're ready to go. And also they shoot like purple warp fire, dark magic shit out of their hands, which is insane. So they're poisoned, they're light cavalry, they are absolute Donny Schmeg beasts, and that is all I have to say on that. So, I'm going to pause the battle. Today I will be playing as the Dark Elves, obviously, and my opponent will be playing as Sweatonia. And a pretty good battle afoot. So I'll run through the armies super quick, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Dark Elves, some of the stuff that's been added and why I think it's really good. So for example, these guys are the Raven Heralds. They are the Regiment of Renowned Dark Riders with crossbow, and they're all on Pegasi, Dark Pegasus, which is super cool. And when I read about these units coming out, which was in the time sort of coming up to the release, I knew they'd be awesome. Partially because I just like the idea of them, like they look super cool, and they fill a really interesting niche in the game. You know, any flying sort of missile cavalry thing is pretty cool. And also, I just felt like they'd have a really good niche and they'd be really powerful. And they are. Specifically against factions like Norsca and Chaos, not very missile heavy factions, these guys are just unbelievable. If you bring them against Norsca and the enemy brings mammoths, just sit them above the mammoth and there's nothing they can do about it. It's really, really good stuff. They get zoned out pretty hard by missiles and, you know, other flying stuff if it can catch them, but they are very fast. So the rest of my army, I've got some Cold One Spear Knights, anti-large Velociraptor riding Donny Dark Elf beasts. Apparently they've been buffed. They still seem, you know, quite underpowered to me. But, you know, they serve their purpose, they do their role. So, for the line, I have a mix of Black Ark Corsairs, a few Witch Elves, just to get in there. And in the centre, I have these guys. I almost can't avoid bringing... I can't not bring these guys most of the time, because they are pretty amazing. They're the Regiment of Renowned Harganeth Executioners, as if Executioners weren't powerful enough. And they have a Guardian ability, which means that they protect other units around them, which is just crazy, right? So the rest is, like I said, interlaced Black Ark, Corsairs and Witch Elves. Because the logic behind that is Sweatonia is a lightly armoured faction, so I'm not going to need a heavy amount of armour piercing. Just good melee warriors will get me through. And a bit of a mix of, you know, fast and agile with low armour and heavier and sort of more sustained armoured combat. Right. Oh, and I've got 2 Dread Spears in the back. I wish I brought more. The front line of this guy is Foot Squires, which is cool. Armour-piercing, greatsword-wielding, knight-looking asses. Very nice. Or squires. He has Grail Knights in the back, which are going to be a huge pain in the ass, as always. He's got 2 Peasant Bowmen, which is never a bad shout, really. And, oh, another unit of Grail Knights. And then he has a Goon Squad. Just like in the days of Total War 1, he's got the old-school Goon Squads that everyone used to bring. 2 Paladins and King Leonka, which is just going to be a nightmare on his Griffin. The Bucky. Is that Bucky or is that just a normal Griffin? Interesting choice. Oh, and by the way, forgot to even mention, in this battle you are going to see a devastating use of the new Hidden Wind spell that comes as an item on Supreme Sorceresses, and it is called Arnzipals Black Horror. Sounds pretty good. So my leader's a Law of Fire Supreme Sorceress. And obviously she's got the bound spell. And the amount of mana that she seems to have as a character is just like redonkulous. She never runs out. And if you count the extra wind spell, I could just throw damage down on this army so hard. Only problem is she's super weak. Also, Doomfire Warlocks, I'm sure you guys have seen, or if you haven't, they come with spells, and it's just ridiculous. I'm going to talk a little bit about Doomfire Warlocks now, because I've been playing with them loads, and I've got some interesting things to say about them. So, the Regiment of Renown that I just always bring, I can't help but not bring them, they have Soul Stealer on them, which is just ridiculous, and Word of Pain, that's a Hex, which is, you know, just crazy, and it costs no Winds of Magic, and the normal variant have Soul Blight and Lesser Doombolt. Lesser Doombolt is trash. It's pure poo-poo. Does nothing. But the ability to just drop that spell, Soul Blight, on the enemy army, on the enemy cav, lowers their armor and weapon damage, which is just crazy. And if you add in the poison, right, and then back them up, say with these Cold One Knights, you are going to have a pretty good sort of successful cavalry fight. And also, they're so versatile because the other role that I have had so much success using them in is they can run down archers and a lot of infantry. I'm sort of curious to even know what it is that hard counters them. Obviously, probably spears and some anti-large units. But when it comes to sort of line infantry and bits and bobs knocking around, they just seem to just do so well against them. You know, in part to the sort of debuffs that I drop as well, but really, really cool. So we're going to let the battle kick off, and it's going to be a spicy one. So I'll try and catch the action. So the armies are approaching. We're having a little bit of a sort of screening movements going on at the start. I don't want to engage these two until I absolutely have to. Hitting Arcane Conduit on her, and then the enemy is going to charge. Also, simultaneously, the Spear Riders are going to catch these Grail Knights in the side, and the cavalry battle is going to kick off. But let's watch the middle. I want to watch the Blood Queen, Blades of the Blood Queen kill some Foot Squires. She's about to summon thee. Hang on. Look at that shock damage. Have you ever even seen that level of obliteration? Like, half health from a charge. Anyway, here we go. This is the name of the video. It's what we've all been waiting for. We're about to unleash the new wind spell. And let me tell you now, it is going to be devastating. So a little bit of info about this spell. As soon as I started playing with the Dark Elves, I found it because I was trying out all of the different stuff. And it's good. I've used it a lot. It's okay. You know, it's not the Destroyer of Worlds. It is about to be, though. But it's really long, so it goes literally from here all the way up to there. So if you can force a good line engagement, which is basically what I've done here, that's why I brought this army, you know, very melee heavy in the middle, then you can unleash it, and it is pretty good. So Bretonnian line's holding up fairly well, as is mine, because, you know, hate to do a spoiler alert, but I think I'm about to wreck a load of my own troops as well. So, right, off we go. So here it is, working its way down the line. At the moment we're getting Bretonnians, but it looks like we're going to start getting Witch Elves. Here we go, it's going through on my own team. It's curving off a bit. And in one spell, pause the game. In one spell, I have literally obliterated my enemy's line. And my line. Look at my Black Corsairs. Oh my god. And the Witch Elves are just absolutely shattered as well. Oh, such a hilarious move. Luckily, I feel like these guys actually took really bad damage as well. Maybe they were pushing through. Wow, nice one, Supreme Sorceress, you dumb bitch. Well, it was me, and I don't actually think that, I'm sorry. So, there you go. There it is, Arnzipals Black Horror, and it's pretty good. Hard to do, though, because like I said, you've got to force that big line engagement. So over here, right, we have got the Cav battle kicking off. We managed to destroy some Grail Knights, which is pretty good. And these guys have got both Word of Pain and Soul Blight on them, and they are winning still, which doesn't surprise me because my units have taken a lot of damage. Cold One Knights are good, but they go down really fast. But it looks like, you know, we're doing alright. Oh, no, I missed a Burning Head. I melted these guys with a Burning Head as well. Sorry, guys. Oh, here we go. They are not going to enjoy this. Here comes some angry Doomfire Warlocks. Oh. Absolute hellfire being unleashed. I love it when they just run riot in the back lines and stuff. They are such a sick unit. Did you see that? He jumped. Oh my god. They are so freaking cool. So over here it looks like my Cold One Knights got broken. They're coming in for another charge though. We'll definitely get a bit of that in. absolute Velociraptor battle. That was a huge fail of a Flamestorm, but it's okay. I'd already done so much damage with my magic. So, at this point, you know, should really be battle over. Like, they have one very injured unit of Grail Knights that I'm going to kill quite easily. And a Grail Reliquary and some Peasant Bowmen who are already, you know, completely wrecked. So I should have won the battle, but we'll see how things work out, because one of this bitch's problems is that she is super squishy. So I used my last option to land on the floor to avoid Leonker, who was following me like the whole time. He is... See, look how good these Doomfire Warlocks are. They're fighting solo against Grail Knights and Leonker, and they're still doing good damage because they have a different style of like fighting. They have poison and magic damage. It's really, really good. So, oh, another nice burning head going off. Oh. And that's what I was talking about earlier, about her just having the most insane amount of magic, like Winds of Magic pool. It's just nuts. But here comes a sad time in the game. So I'm just kiting, basically. There's nothing I can do. There's no one I can land on. She's getting trapped. The Raven Heralds are trying to support, but they're just not doing a good enough job. Probably because they're quite injured. Don't know. I was actually trying to use them to kill the last of these Grail Knights, because then this guy just couldn't do what he's about to do, which is just play a bullshit kiting game where he picks off units that are isolated before I group them all together. So he's going to go and chase her off the field. Fantastic, whatever. These guys, I'm desperately trying to just get rid of these Grail Knights so this guy can't abuse the game by like running them away, which I just think is, you know, very unsportsmanlike. I'll say that. I'm not going to go on and whine and complain about it, because at the end of the day, you play the game how you want. That's absolutely fine, you know. But at the same time, I wouldn't do that shit. Never. So, here we go. I might just speed things up. Screw it. Good battle though, right guys? I'm going to be uploading so much more content. I've been trying out all the new units. Bone Giants. Oh my god, so exciting. I'm going to do a video on them at some point. But yeah, so, you know, King Leonker is such a powerful tool at the end of the battle if you're if there's no one to challenge him, because he just causes terror, and this thing is so tanky and big, you know. Fair enough. So we've got one Paladin dropping in, just going to probably fly away and feign attacking us and all this nonsense. Because I've got these Witch Elves, so I figured if I can catch them with the Witch Elves, then it'll be fine. But no. Got to charge in with these Grail Knights, and then they're just going to go for the big bomb. And it was because I messaged him and was like, oh, come on, man, don't do this to me. And then I think he was like, decided that he wasn't going to sit these guys out anymore. So now Leonker is just going nuts against all my Druchiiiiiiiiii. I thought, you know, this is a win. I've got the Witch Elves, so he can't micro him effectively. I have spears. I have these guys who should just be cutting through. But I guess it's the Sword of Quran. I mean, that is a hefty debuff to have. So we'll just speed things along here, like, you know. I'm trying to bring my spears back in. I'll even get the Raven Heralds back online, and they're going to start trying to shoot into Leonker, but it's just doing peanuts really to him. I kill that Paladin, great, good news. Managed to make him rampage. I thought, you know, maybe I'm going to win this. Charge the Raven Heralds in. Another Sword of Quran goes down. It breaks my entire army, and he wins. And fair play, I'm not too salty about it. It was an amazing battle, right? That's why I put it up on my channel. Like the getting to see the new spell and how it just devastated everyone. Oh, brutal. So, you know, if you guys watching my content and you're enjoying it, let me know what kind of things you want to see. Any questions you have about the game or anything like that, just feel free to ask. And I'll see you in the next one, which will be soon, alright? Peace out.